Sorry about that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Get the Tables podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony, with my co-host tonight, the bizarre one, Dave, who will be joining us in just a few seconds.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is. How are you doing tonight, Dave? Welcome, everybody, from Get Your Streams. Thank you for the host. Really do appreciate that very, very much. Lots to talk about tonight. Of course, we'll go over AEW Dynamite, where we do have a number one contenders match next week on the Jericho Cruise episode of AEW Dynamite. But also, AEW came out with some news this afternoon announcing a new contract deal, which we'll get into in a little bit. But let's start off with AEW.
So is it live?
I'm sorry?
Is it gonna be live? Is this show going to be live next week?
I do not know, honestly. That's something that we haven't figured out quite yet. I'm assuming maybe, possibly. But I'm sure more details will come out by next week's show. Also, we will be live on YouTube for Hill by Nature. If you haven't heard about them, they are a wrestling news site. Go follow them on YouTube or on Twitter. We appreciate them having us again on their YouTube channel. You can go subscribe to them as well. So let's jump right into AEW Dynamite. Thank you for the follow from Rack2K.
You just made the list.
Appreciate the follow also from... I'm sorry, guys. I missed these follows. Yeet on your face. Come on my buns. What?
Oh, boy.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Interesting screen names there. So we had a pretty stacked card tonight. We opened up with the Fatal 4-Way to decide who will go on to face SCU next week on the Jericho Cruise episode next week to go up against SCU for the AEW Tag Team Championships. We had the Young Bucks. We had Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. We also had Pride and Powerful, which is Santana and Ortiz. And we also had... Who else was in there, Dave? Oh, Best Friends, excuse me. With Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was at ringside. He did get involved in the match a little bit. But let's get your thoughts on this match in the whole. It was all over the place. It was. You should have just made it a tornado tag match. You couldn't tell who the legal man was half the time in the match. A lot of high spots. You kind of had to assume the people who were in the match. You were going to see a bunch of dives and jumps off the ropes and super kicks and all that good stuff, which we saw. And we saw Hangman Page and Kenny Omega come off winning and kind of still seeing Hangman Page kind of distancing himself with the Elite. They kind of were going to raise hands all together to end the match, and Hangman wasn't really feeling that tonight. Really looks like he is still trying to distance himself, even though he's still kind of being friends with Kenny Omega. What did you think of the match, Dave? And are we going to finally see Hangman Page finally snap and turn on Kenny Omega next week?
I mean, it's possible. I think this match was in the wrong position tonight, though.
You think it should have ended the show? Yeah.
Because, to me, I'm sorry, this should have been the main event, not what we got in the main event, in my opinion.
Well, I guess because the main event was Darby versus Pac, and I'm assuming that they were the main event for the importance of why the match was taking place in the first place.
I get that part, but to me, it just didn't feel like a main event match. They should have opened with this match. That Darby and Pac should have opened the show.
Okay.
Fair enough. Number one contender, so tag titles be the main event. But yeah, this match, like you said, was all. Anyone having trouble with Twitch right now? Because I am. But anyways,
no.
Because I can't even get on. But okay, yeah, this match was. It was what it was. I mean, it was a spot fest. They tried to do tag wrestling. They tried it for a minute, but then they just went away from it. And then freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy gets involved and helps with a suplex. But that's not a disqualification because it's Orange Cassidy. He can get involved in the matches.
Well, they did say the match. Did they say the match was no disqualification? I think they said that. I think they said it was a no DQ match.
Okay, maybe they did. I don't fucking. I think it seems like every match they do is no disqualification because even the women's match had freaking chairs involved. But whatever, we'll get there. Yeah. But yeah, this match is one of those. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I should ask my fiance, what do you think of that guy? He doesn't look like a wrestler. I was like, yeah, that's very true. But yeah, this was bad. No, it wasn't bad. You know what? For everyone who likes the flips and whatever, flips and dips and everything else, it was good, I guess. I think Omega should be in the main event picture, not here in the tag division.
Okay.
But whatever, because he's one of him and Hangman are two of your biggest stars, and you have them in the tag division and getting a tag title shot next week.
Appreciate the kind words there, Speeds. Appreciate that always. And follow Speeds in the Benchmark too as well. They'll be live on Friday night. I want to say tomorrow night because usually we're on Thursdays, but they're on Friday nights doing over a SmackDown post show over there as well. I think I agree with you on the point of Kenny Omega should be in the main title picture, but at least he's in a storyline that's kind of developing right now. Yeah, it looks like Pac is kind of on the side burner, even though their feud is still going on. But it really does seem like Paige and Omega is a feud that's up and coming, because I really do feel like next week they're going to lose and Paige is going to snap and turn on Kenny Omega. Maybe not turn on him, but I think he's going to maybe do something physical towards him to kind of get the Young Bucks to come out to be like, "Well, what are you doing? What's going on here?" And then going on from there. What do you think about that?
Sure, why not? I would just like to see a team that isn't in the elite get a tag title shot. Giving one of these other teams a title shot, but I get what they're doing. To me, it's their tag, even though it's been a short division, it's really been bad because it's not saying their tag division is bad stuff, but just the way they're booking it and the champions, they never wrestle on TV, it seems like. Mm-hmm. And they're not doing anything with them to help build them up more. I mean, they should be out there, if anything, trying to get these titles more recognition on TV. Open challenges, anything, and then get ready for an opponent next week, which are going to be premiered next week, hopefully in the main event, I would assume, for a tag title match. But yeah, they could turn Paige on Pac if they wanted to. It makes sense, I guess. Or not on Pac, but on Omega. But yeah.
They'll turn it and Kenny will turn. Really? I'm curious to see how that'll happen. I sense him turning on Omega to set up a match at Revolution, says Beef Stew 82. I can see that. Because you would think that the feud that Kenny Omega was going to potentially have was with Pac. Because he's attacking Nakazawa. He's even mentioned that he's wanting his rubber match against Kenny Omega, and that he was going to keep on doing what he was doing until he got his rematch. But it seems like they kind of just put that aside right now. And seeing the results we got tonight, it's definitely possible that we see Omega and Hangman, a match that I don't know if it's ever happened before, against each other at Revolution, or maybe on an episode of Dynamite that I would really look forward to seeing.
I don't know if they're going to do that now that I think about everything tonight. I think Pac's going to cost them the match, and it's going to turn into Pac and Omega at Revolution now.
Okay, all right. That's a fair little idea there. We'll see if that actually happens. So we do get Hangman Page and Kenny Omega next week taking on SCU. Any early predictions on that match, Dave? Do you feel like we're going to see a turn, or do you think maybe we see new tag team champions crowned?
I think they keep the titles. Like I said, I think Pac, depending on the booking of this match, if Pac loses next week beforehand, like before they do their number one contenders match before the tag title match, I could easily see Pac getting involved and screwing them over. But if not, then sure, why not? I still don't know how this fucking Rock and Rager is going to do next week. I'm still confused on that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they do that show next week, since it is going to be on a cruise ship. It's going to be interesting to see if it's live or pre-recorded. They haven't really got into that very much, but we'll find out next week.
And it was a special edition show, AEW Dynamite Bash at the Beach.
Did it feel like a bash at the beach to you, Dave? Other than them wearing outfits that were Hawaiian-like and beach-like, and you had lifeguards out there, did it really feel like a bash at the beach show to you, Dave?
No, it didn't feel like a special pay-per-view, other than people wearing stupid clothes.
Sinister says I believe they said it was live. So there you go. That should be interesting to see them
live on a boat.
Yeah, that should be fun. I'm actually looking forward to that next week. It depends on how many drinks Hangman has before the match. Yes, we did see later on SCU doing an interview, getting asked about their potential match next week, And then you see Hangman plastered out of his mind, going up there kind of talking shit. You had Kenny Omega trying to back him off, telling them, hey, don't listen to him. He's had too many to drink already. And I'm looking forward to the match. It should be an interesting one. And the storyline is what is up with Hangman and the Elite. And what is going to happen next week is if Hangman, does he turn? Does he get upset and turn on Omega? It's going to be a fun match to watch next week, for sure.
And also, what's up with Christopher Daniels? I mean, what the hell? Was he part of the security team now? I mean, what the fuck?
They don't know what they want to do with Christopher Daniels, at least, because they keep putting him in these odd situations right now. And I thought he was feuding with Pentagon, but apparently he's not anymore.
They got nothing with Pentagon. I know, and then we get this other thing backstage, but we'll get to it. I assume you have that on the docket.
I do have it on the docket tonight. We have... What was next on that? Oh, we had Cody Rhodes come out to talk about MJF. A few weeks ago, he asked MJF what it would have to take to have a match. Cody runs down the 3 stipulations that he has to follow before a match at Revolution against MJF. He can't touch MJF at all, face Wardlow in a steel cage match, and take 10 lashings from MJF. Cody runs them down, says MJF is just stalling. Makes fun of MJF being on the Rosie O'Donnell show when he was a kid, and says MJF is lazy. It's not less is more. He's capable of much, much. Cody says he accepts the terms. So, they did announce tonight that in the week before Revolution, I believe? I believe it's the week before Revolution, he will face Wardlow inside a steel cage. Are you looking forward to this match, Dave? Do you feel like they're waiting? This match is not going to happen for another month, almost a month and a half. Wow. Until we see these two guys actually face each other. What can they possibly do to still continue you being interested in this match with MJF and Cody when they are taking so long for this match to actually end up happening?
Just not have them on TV. Okay. I mean, that's what they really want to do. But man, this is, to me, I hate this idea. I really do. Maybe it's just the old fan of me, but why would you waste your first ever cage match on TV? Not saying I didn't get ratings. They want ratings. I get that. But in basically a match that Cody's obviously going to win. Yeah. Instead of making it part of this feud going forward in a steel cage later on, we get an MJF versus Cody Rhodes at the pay-per-view in a steel cage. That'd be much better.
I think what everybody's really griping about is that they're building up Wardlow to be this big, strong, powerful force. But his first ever match, he's probably most likely going to lose. And I guess the way they're trying to see it in their eyes is that they're putting Wardlow, I keep going to say him, call him Wardlow. They're putting him inside a cage where he doesn't necessarily have to get pinned to lose the match.
Yeah.
So I guess they're trying to say that he can still beat him, but Wardlow can still look strong in the match because you have to. It's obvious. It's plain and simple that there's no way they're gonna miss this opportunity to have Cody versus MJF at Revolution. It's the match that all the fans want to see. A lot of these fans want to see Cody get his hands on MJF. But to have Wardlow take a loss in his first ever match, would you rather than maybe have Wardlow have a match in between there and maybe face a Cutie Marshall or some other jobber on the show to kind of showcase him just a little bit, to show what he has inside the ring? Because I know some people in the chat room might know who he is, may have seen him wrestle before, but me or you, I don't believe have seen him wrestle at all inside a ring. So it'd be nice to see from now until February, I think it's 19th, I believe, I could be wrong on that, or 22nd, somewhere around there, where we actually see them two actually face each other. Honestly, I would love for them to have him showcase, to show what he can do, what damage he can do against Cody Rhodes come inside that steel cage match. Do you agree, or do you feel like they should save him until the steel cage?
See, I honestly think what's going to happen in this cage, I know it's really far off to predict it, but this is my assumption that will happen.
Okay.
The Butcher, the Bunny, Wardlow, MJF are all going to be in the cage beating up Cody. Here comes Arn and
And then we're going to
DDP.
see the Young Bucks jump off top of the cage and do moonsaults and shit like that, right?
I don't know if the Young Bucks will be involved. I'm so you're going to have all the old guys. Like, you're going to have DDP and Arn Anderson and Dustin coming to the aid. And then Cody's going to escape or something like that. Do probably something crazy off the cage.
Yeah, I could see him doing a dive off the cage, landing on everyone. That's what we saw a lot tonight in the Fatal 4-Way Tag match. But it's just weird that they're waiting so long to have that match. It's over a month away. Like, it's crazy that
just patient, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to sit there and be patient with it. And I guess, and us as well, who are wrestling fans who love drawn out storylines that kind of take some time to develop, we should enjoy this. But it feels like they're waiting a little bit too long for this match to actually happen.
Yeah, but in today's day and age, fans are so used to everything happening so fast.
Right.
Like now, just imagine if they would have said a ladder match in 5 weeks on Raw. That would just like 5 weeks. I mean, yeah, that's why you do. Usually, the most we have to wait is maybe 2 weeks.
Right.
It's like with NXT, they said 2 weeks you're gonna have a North American title match on NXT. I mean, that's how 2 weeks is usually the long-term wait we have to wait for stuff like this. But with making us wait even longer, it's not used to it. We're used to getting everything so quickly, but now we got to wait.
But Bob Ruski says we need a new command. It's Warlow, not Warlord, you idiot. There you go. I need to put that one in there because I always have troubles with Jake and Chris. Jake and who? What's his name? Jake and... the Christ Brothers. I know the Chris Brothers. God damn it! I always call them the Christ Brothers. My apologies.
And we need a cutie command too.
Yeah, I always call them cutie instead of QT. Very true. Sinister says, saying perhaps there's a contract reason. That's also a possibility that we may not know about there. Hey Tony and to Abe, guess what happened? Impact Wrestling Twitch is suspended for that RVD segment. Yes, if you guys are new to the channel and didn't know about this. We did a watch party Tuesday night over on Impact Wrestling.
That's one.
And, for a little while. They got banned because of the Katie Forbes and RVD segment where they basically had a soft porn segment on Impact. At one point, Katie Forbes' nipple was out, but they blurred it. But
not the second time.
I don't know how Impact didn't think that this shit would get banned. Like, amazing shit. We'll talk more of it on our Saturday night show there. 2 months in the same amount of time that Cody's entrance takes, says Canicus. The longest we had to wait was a year for the Cena and Rock match at WrestleMania, says
and
Bill.
People hated that too.
Yeah, Truth and Loyalty, how you doing? They got access. That is very true as well.
No one has that, so...
What else did I miss in the chat room? Oh, that's it. If you're new to the show, we are Get the Tables broadcast. We are live every Thursdays and Saturdays. We were asked by Hill by Nature to run another recap show, so that's why we went on live on Wednesday. So give them a follow if you haven't over on Twitch or YouTube. We appreciate them having us on once again. And
you know what, Tony?
What's that, Dave?
I'm just thankful that Twitch didn't ban us too because we were co-streaming that show.
I deleted that video really quick, so we don't have nothing to worry about right there. So let's move on with the show, Dave, because we had the match I'm sure everybody was anticipating on seeing. It was originally supposed to be Awesome... I'll get to the Janella promo in a minute. It was supposed to be Awesome Kong taking on Mel with Luther, with Brandi Rhodes at ringside as well, taking on Chris Statlander and Sheeta. Well, apparently Awesome Kong was not able to wrestle tonight, so guess who took her place, everyone? No, not a valid wrestler on the card who is pretty good in the ring or someone who has a reliable background inside the ring. No, everyone, we got fucking Brandi fucking Rhodes in the match alongside Mel, and this match was fucking horrible. I cannot say anything positive about this match, Dave. And I'm sorry. Yes, Peckinrod, that too. I have to touch on that as well. Thank you, sir. Unreal. At one point, he saw Statlander do a super kick that was nowhere near her face.
Yeah.
Brandi Rhodes still looks like shit inside a wrestling ring. And you can really tell that Statlander and Sheeta were very affected by this match. That they had to slow down in this match. They probably couldn't go their full potential because of who's inside the ring. I don't know how much ring time or experience this Mel character has. It looked like she doesn't have very much. Brandi, we all know who she is. She's fucking shit inside the ring. If you guys find her attractive, more power to you. But she's awful inside that ring. She can't do shit other than kick. And I thought this match was bad. Statlander and Sheeta did pick up the win. I think this really hurts the Nightmare Collective because they're supposed to be this big-ass, strong-ass group, but yet are still taking losses. You didn't even see, what's his name, Uncle Fester, Luther, get involved in the match at all. He just sat there at ringside, which you would have thought maybe he would get inside and maybe try to distract one of them. Thank you for the follow, Beef Stew 82. Thank you very much. What did you think of this match, Dave? And what was your thoughts of them adding Brandi Rhodes into this match?
Oh, you knew it would be happy for everyone because this is one thing that all fans seem to agree on unanimously is that they all don't want Brandi Rhodes on their TV screen. Even AEW fans who hate NXT, they don't want Brandi Rhodes on their TV.
I don't know if it's. I don't think they want her inside a wrestling ring. I think they
or
want,
on TV.
Well, see, honestly, I tweeted out on our Twitter account. You can follow at Get the Tables. A little cheap pop there. Cheap plug, I should say. And I saw a lot of people actually say they actually enjoyed her on commentary. They thought she did a pretty good job. But it's when she steps inside the ropes, Dave, it's where there's an issue. When she steps inside those ropes and acts like a wrestler, when she's absolute shit, that's when the problem occurs. Not so much on the microphone, which I mean, I'm not a fan of Brandi Rhodes at all. You know, she's an attractive lady, but she's awful. Like, there's no, I can't say anything positive wrestling wise towards Brandi Rhodes.
But she's playing it up on Twitter like it's great because everyone hates her.
But
so she's the heel.
She's playing the part. She's trolling the crowd because
but she's playing up that everyone.
Wasn't it a few months ago, Dave? Someone came out with a tweet with her, and she kind of like not attacked him, but kind of went after them. I think she learned from that and is now trying to play up the Twitter hate that she gets because she knows people don't like her for the most part. They don't want to see her inside the ring. And what was the one thing that she said? Oh, you're not going to see me inside the ring, or you're not going to see me do this or that. I'm going to be behind the scenes doing everything else business-wise. Boy, did that change very quickly.
Yeah, she's going to take a step back from TV, and then all of a sudden, it seems like a vanity project. Because where it's like, oh, now her husband's... I swear, is that her music the same as Cody's? Because it sure sounded like the exact same song Cody comes out to.
It
sounds very close.
I don't understand. Like, I saw Bob Aruski reply to a tweet that made so much fucking sense. This AEW roster has so many talented people on that in the women's division that they could. Okay, so much maybe over exaggerating there, but they have talent in that ring. Why couldn't Brandi Rhodes say, "Hey, we'll put Britt Baker in it"?
Because she's not in the Nightmare Collective.
But maybe they're trying to, try to get her, boost her up to maybe she'll join the Nightmare Collective or any other woman on that roster. Like, why did it have to be someone who's shit inside a wrestling ring? I'm curious to see what the ratings is during that segment because apparently when Brandi was on last week, she had the ratings were through the roof when she was on there. So we'll see what happens with her next week when we get that. Just Wrestling, sure, have her show her promo stuff because she can do the gimmick a bit, says Bob Aruski. Marion Watson says, why can't she just take the Stephanie route? And when she wrestles, is it big once in the every 5-year thing? Yes, I agree. She should not wrestle that much either as well. I agree with you. Steven2411 says they should have just let Luther be in the match instead of Brandi. Why not? Beef Stew says I was hella bored. She needs to get off my get off my TV worthy. God damn. She was horrible on commentary too, he says. Okay, I can't disagree with you on that. The reason why that Luther won't distract during the match because he's afraid of the samurai lady Akira Shida. Noob says. I saw Marion Watson say something else that he apologized for. What was it? Did I miss something? Is Sunny Kiss in the women's division? Is she? Or I'm sorry. Is he? Is Sunny Kiss in the women's division?
I would say no, but Nyla Rose is. So I don't know.
Hold on, Dave. Well, because she's technically a woman now. But she's technically a woman now. You know, Dave. She's technically a woman. So you don't be shocked that she's in the women's division, Dave. Come on now.
They said she's transgender. She's not a
transgender, but she's technically a woman. You know, just saying. Oh fuck! What if Jimmy Havoc is the leader of the Dark Order? Hey, I never even thought about that. I miss Kylie Ray. Man, imagine if AEW still had her. Just imagine.
She's been losing to Brandi Rhodes.
Joey Janela, everyone, had a promo last night or tonight. Says 2020 is a new year for him. He says then the first time he shows up, he gets low blowed by his ex-girlfriend. I had no idea they were ex-boyfriend and girlfriend. Janela says the only way she can get herself over is using his name. And then he asks Kip Sabian if he wants to play and should cross the line. Janela says next week he'll get things going by facing Phoenix. What are your thoughts on Joey Janela and his promo and his potential match next week against Phoenix?
Should be good. And the Kip Sabian stuff is like...
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. Did I say Sabian? Sabian, excuse me.
Yeah, I guess that's a real life thing they're doing because they did break up and now it's this whole... So they're adding real life drama to a wrestling match, so whatever. It is what it is. That happened like weeks ago, so that's kind of strange why they're talking about it now when they didn't mention it last week at all.
Well, maybe it took him some time to recuperate from that low blow, Dave. You know,
I guess.
She must have really got him there.
And did you see the stuff on Twitter that they were going after about for a couple weeks ago?
No, I did not. What was that?
They were going back and forth like crazy. Like, hey, pal, this is everyone's favorite, Kip Sabian. Penelope's busy right now. Her hands and mouth are full.
Wow.
But then he said, you pervert, she had food in her mouth. There was some crazy shit. They were going like crazy back and forth. She even tweeted at him about the low blow. She said, yeah, it took so long because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, good one. Good one, Penelope. That's something that we haven't heard before. But yeah, hello, Heal by Nature listeners, by the way, says Bob Ruski. Yes, welcome to us. No filter here, folks. No filter here. We will also make ourselves look like assholes a lot of times. So welcome and thank you for enjoying the AEW. I'm sorry, God damn, I can't even talk tonight. The Impact Hard to Kill recap. So we appreciate that and thank you guys again for having us on. Don't forget to hit that follow button if you're new to the show and you are enjoying it. We'll be back again on Saturday, where we'll go over SmackDown, NXT, and every other wrestling rumor and innuendo that's going on Saturday night. So I hope you guys will consider following and joining us next Saturday, this coming Saturday for our Saturday night Shoot the Shit show as well. Let's continue on, Dave, with the next review or recap, which was what was next? Oh, the Guevara versus Jon Moxley match. And this one was an interesting one, folks. Sammy Guevara taking on Jon Moxley. The winner moves on to next week's #1 contender match. Thought the match wasn't bad. It was a pretty entertaining match. You saw Jon Moxley show up in his new car. No theme music, though, which was kind of weird. But Moxley sold his ass off for Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara even at one point looked like we all know he wasn't going to win, but they made it as close as they could to make it look like he was going to win tonight against Moxley. Moxley does end up getting the win. All of a sudden you hear Chris Jericho's music played, lights go off, lights end up turning back on, and you got the whole inner circle inside the ring. Moxley goes after them, but they overpower him, of course. And Chris Jericho ends up grabbing a spike from his jacket and stabs Jon Moxley in the eye. Camera angle didn't do no justice because you could tell he was way far away from his face. But that's here nor there. What did you think of that? And what did you think of the promo afterward where Chris Jericho said that Jon Moxley will not be able to compete and whoever won in the Pac and Darby match would go on to face him next week at the Jericho Cruise AEW Dynamite edition.
Yeah, the funny thing about the spike, there was no blood on it or nothing. It looked fine. I mean, so it's like they're showing the spike to the camera, like, here, I stabbed him. Shouldn't there be blood or something on the spike?
Well, we did see blood later on in the night, though. But we'll
yeah, on his eye, but not on the spike.
Right. What did you think of this match? What are your thoughts on Guevara? Because Guevara is called he's a star in the making, but it seems like he can never win a fucking match. Never win a fucking match. And also, when is Jake Hager ever gonna have a match?
Probably never.
It's like he's just there to be. Is he just the bodyguard, or is his? I know he's in MMA. Is he having a strict contract with them where he can't wrestle whatsoever? He's been with the company a few months now and hasn't had one
since
match.
episode 1.
Yeah, he hasn't had one match yet. Like, what's the deal with him as well?
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Look, Sammy's good. I enjoy his stuff, but yeah, I mean, he doesn't win much on AEW. No one does, really. I mean, when's the last time any of the Inner Circle really won a match other than Jericho?
That's true. They're not a very powerful group. The Inner Circle is. The Inner Circle usually. Sammy was 2-0. Who did he beat? Who did he beat?
I think it was a tag match.
Oh, I mean, well, tag matches. Well, they count against your record. But I had no idea. He probably has one more fight coming up, says Bob Ruski. You guys forget Sammy beat Chris Daniels. Oh, you're right. That's correct. Last week he beat Christopher Daniels with a little bit of help from Pentagon. That's right. You are very correct there. Appreciate that.
Yeah, but was that really a win?
Oh, he beat Brandon Cutler. I mean, come on. Sammy Guevara needs to beat someone credible until
Darby beat Brandon Cutler yesterday.
I want to see someone beat. I want to see him beat a contender, not these Dustin. Maybe
contender?
Did he beat Dustin? I mean, that's a good. I'm sure he did. I
thought Dustin won, but maybe he did win.
I don't remember. Oh, he did beat him. Okay, y'all guys' memory is way better than mine. But because I do. Oh yeah, low blow. That's right. You're right. Now y'all refreshing the old
these are memorable wins that he's getting. He's just getting like these cheap wins. I get it. It's wrestling. Cheap wins, I guess, count too. But man, I don't know. It's like no one in the Inner Circle has really been built up really strong and unbeatable like they should be.
But Hager's undefeated too.
I guess Hager is the new Vincent for the Inner Circle.
Oh, do not compare him to Virgil.
All he does is walk out there with.
He's actually a guy that's intimidating, a guy that makes you worried, a guy that would actually scare the shit out of you. Virgil is too worried about eating fucking Olive Garden, Dave. Come on now, worried about his breadsticks. He ain't worried about beating anybody up. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, meat sauce.
How are you comparing? I can't believe you just compared.
Because he never wrestles. All he does is come out and protect Chris Jericho. That's all Vincent did. Mike Jones.
Was he successful at defending Vincent? Was he successful at it? I don't think he was. I think they got it over. They got through him pretty quickly. Wow, that's a first. I never thought I would ever hear Jack Hager.
When's the last time?
Vincent.
When's the last time he did anything?
Well, in the chat room, they're saying that it might be contract issues. Well, he might have another match coming up.
Okay, or fight, yeah, but it doesn't.
He's like a new China. Wow. Okay, Jesus. Can we give him a little bit more props to this man? This guy is.
He hasn't done anything in wrestling.
Dave, he was a world champion, Dave.
In AEW, he hasn't done nothing.
Show this man some respect.
Remember, that was years ago. It doesn't matter, because that was, according to Chris Jericho, that was some stupid shit. That doesn't matter. That shit was stupid.
We the people, Dave.
Terrible creative, remember?
Sheesh. Hager is just Jericho's muscle. Yeah, for right now, he is. That's for sure. Hager is like the old Roman Reigns from The Shield. The quiet but big, powerful guy. All right, I could see that comparison there. Way more than I could see him being compared to fucking Vincent. from the
Well,
NWO. Sorry that you can hear these notifications, guys. I apologize. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
I was saying he's not doing nothing. That's basically what Virgil did. Nothing.
Wow, the fucking respect. The disrespect. I think even Virgil would disagree with you on that, Dave. Trying to compare him to Jack Hager. Jeez. Anyway.
When's the last Jack Hager did anything in AEW in a match? Nothing. I don't care about his outside work. I'm just saying in AEW he hasn't really done nothing.
He hasn't had the opportunity yet. That's also a thing you have to put in mind as well. He hasn't had the opportunity to actually do something inside the ring in AEW. And maybe that's AEW's fault for bringing him in maybe a little bit too early where he can't really do shit.
Well, then you shouldn't bring in a guy like that who's never going to wrestle.
But he's the muscle. It makes sense for him to maybe not be in a
find
match.
Plenty of muscle guys on the independent scene they could have used.
I guess you're right there. True that.
Wardlow?
Yeah, but he's with
now he is, but they could have easily used him.
So they sold the Moxley stabs to the eye throughout the break. They had him holding the eye. You have all these guys from medical checking him on. He's checking his eye. It looked like Moxley's going to be turned into the new Naito over there on AEW. We'll get more back into Moxley here in a minute because the silliest shit happened at the end of AEW Dynamite. But let's continue on, shall we? We finally got the 6-man tag match, Dave, which was MJF, The Blade, and The Butcher.
Oh, boy.
With Bunny and Wardlow at ringside, taking on Dustin Rhodes, QT Marshall, and DDP. I got to give props to Jim Ross for not butchering the names. No pun intended.
The Butcher?
Yeah, you never saw, he didn't mix up the Butcher or the Blade too much tonight. Unless if he did, I didn't notice it. But man, DDP, 63 years old, Dave, doing dives off the top rope. He got a little bit of physical action inside the ring. That's not a lot, just a couple of clotheslines, punches, nothing too crazy.
Like 3 diamond cutters.
I think the craziest spot he did was jump off the ropes. But hey, props to that man for being that age and doing what he can do. I can only wish and hope that at 63 years old, Dave, I can be in the shape like DDP.
To jump off a top rope?
To jump off a top rope like he did tonight. MJF wearing one of the best T-shirts I've ever seen. They
didn't show it at all.
What was it? It said bang. I think I banged your wife or something around those lines.
I think it's his daughter, not his wife, but yeah.
It was a great shirt.
A lot of missed camera shots. They didn't even show a close-up of the shirt or nothing like they should have. You couldn't really see it because he had it covered up, and they didn't really focus on it.
Right.
And when us as old WCW fans, we know the famous Diamond Dallas Page entrance. Whoever's directing the cameras backstage, obviously they didn't watch WCW because they cut away from his pyro and his big bang thing that he always does. He still did it, but pyro's going off. They're showing something else.
Sinister said they did a shot on it before he took it off, says Sinister. Okay.
I must have missed the shot because it wasn't that long then, because they didn't even show DDP's entrance like they would normally do. Not them, but so much the other network. Oh, look at that. I'll see a Coca-Cola in your hand, Tony.
No, we didn't miss the show. What are you talking about? We might have missed that particular camera shot of him showing the shirt off.
Well, I didn't. It wasn't very long because I must have missed that then because it wasn't a very long shot. They definitely missed the shot of Diamond Dallas Page doing his little entrance thing, which was a big key with the pyro going off. You'd think you'd want to catch that.
Maybe he should have wore higher tights because you could see DDP's back flap, says Bobaruski. I banged DDP's daughter. Okay, all right. That second show for TNT will be a mix of AEW Dark and Road to Promo stuff. Really? I heard about the AEW Dark being the second show that's going to be aired on television. I didn't hear about the Road to Promo. That's new to me. Saturday, we'll talk more about that. I do have the contract stuff that we'll talk about here in a few minutes, but let's get through the show first, and then we'll get into that. Thank you, Alice, for the host. How you doing tonight? And they're getting a second show, said Stephen. He looked like dead weight when he dived off the ring, says Bill in the chat room.
Everyone's standing there waiting to catch him.
Just do yoga, DDP yoga. Yeah, but at 63 years old, I hope I can even move like that. DDP is 63 and in better shape than me, says Sinister. No, I preach, brother, preach. There's a tweet of the DDP daughter shot to you, Tony. All right, thank you. Appreciate that, Brian. But what did you think of the match, Dave? What did you think of MJF? what did you think of DDP? And how bad is AEW making the Butcher and the Blade look? I remember when they showed up and attacked Cody Rhodes, and they were looking like some powerhouse tag team that were going to be future world champions and be a powerful tag team in AEW. And now they're getting diamond cuttered by a 63-year-old DDP. They're losing matches. They're getting pinned. And they look like absolute jokes that are getting squashed on AEW. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Well, Braxton should have never took off the fucking mask. He should have just left it on. Because he's just terrible. I'm sorry. He only got this job because he's Allie's husband. That's it. That's the only reason he has this job. Just like in TNA, it's terrible.
Okay.
I don't think he's much better than QT Marshall, like you could call him. But yeah, I don't think he's much better than him. The match I didn't think was that good. I mean, to be honest, it was a random, not really random, but it was like all over the place 6-man tag. And of course, we knew what was going to happen. MJF's going to get the win on QT Marshall. And then, yeah, MJF wins.
Thank you for the 9 months in a row from Jimbo. Appreciate that very, very much. Leave QT alone. The man is a great trainer and an asset to AEW, says Sinister. The Butcher and the Blade will get a push when the time is right for it. But when
they're too much of a joke right now.
Look, Sinister, you can agree too as well. As much as that might be the truth there, shouldn't they kind of play them up as a little bit more of a stronger force as a tag team instead of them just going out there and looking kind of like fools? They haven't won a match yet, and they
won one.
Who did they beat?
Cody and QT Marshall.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. But they still haven't really gotten that legit tag team victory yet. Seems like they're getting placed in these kind of gimmick matches and looking like jokes. We have a Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, please join our Discord. It's a very, very fun, interactive chat room that we go over AEW and stuff like that. I feel like they deserve better. I'm not a big fan of Allie also being a manager, especially when the women's division is kind of very slim at the moment and they could really use her. I'm not digging her as a manager either. I just felt like when the Butcher and the Blade made their debut, the way they debuted them as well, they made it seem like they're going to be one powerful tag team. But they're far from it. They're not even a legit threat to the tag division, in my opinion. Dave, what about you?
I don't think they're even in the tag division, obviously. Because they're just like a team with, like, Brandi. Is her group in United Tag? No, because they're all women, I guess. But still, it seems like it's very similar to the Brandi thing. And it's going to all come together, I think, because they're going to be, never likes Brandi. So I think it's all going to come to full circle with those factions. Because I think Cody's going to end up, at the end of the day, being the leader of the Nightmare Collective.
You know who haven't been used much? TH2. I'm bad with abbreviations. Who is that? TH2.
Private Party? I don't know.
The TH2 are the kings of AEW Dark. I am bad with abbreviations, guys. Please let me know who are they. I know who they are. Jack Evans and Angelico. Thank you. Exactly.
Have they been on the show?
They were on Dynamite probably once the show, I think, started. Oh, they're called the Hybrid too? Is that their legit tag team name? I didn't even know that. See, I don't really watch too much AEW Dark. That's more of a me problem than anybody else. I do see the car. You're right about that. They are the kings of AEW Dark. They have not been on a AEW Dynamite show in at least a month, maybe longer. I'm not really sure why they haven't been used at all. They're a very talented team. What's the deal with that? Do you know, Bob Ruski, why they haven't been used, or just they're kind of stuck on Dark right now? I don't know if Butcher and Blade can keep up with the rest of the current tag team guys and their place, says Chris Mack. But see, here's the funny thing, Chris Mack. What I've been told in our Discord and on Twitter, that Butcher and the Blade were a pretty damn good tag team on the Indies. So they can go up against tag teams. It's just AEW feels like there's no need for them to, which is just kind of weird. They were both great in Lucha Underground, says Beef. I think he's talking about Jack Evans and Angelico.
Yeah.
I love Angelico. That dude is a talented motherfucker. I tell you what, he
So
is so
Jack
talented. Jack Evans to me is more of a guy that does more of. He's like a spot fest guy. Angelico, I think, can actually go in there and have certain types of wrestling matches. I think Angelico is kind of stuck with the high flying spots and stuff like that. I could be wrong. But it to me, it feels that way. Oh,
to
okay.
me, Jack Evans is no different than anyone else on the AEW roster.
I don't know much about him either, Chris Mack, but that's what I've been reading on Twitter. Also, Dark Order just have vignettes and don't wrestle. Could have the two newbies wrestle. Yes, I agree with you on that. And we did get a new Dark Order segment tonight as well, which was interesting. And here's the thing with the Dark Order, Dave. Is it sad that the Dark Order are more entertaining on vignettes than they are inside a ring?
It just seems they don't know what they're doing with them, and anytime they get in the ring, it doesn't really look so good.
What baffles me is you see nothing on Twitter. Oh, I love these vignettes. Oh, these video packages of the Dark Order are so awesome. Who's the leader? Who's the dark voice? But once they come out in that wrestling ring, crickets. Or, oh, this shit sucks. What the fuck was that? What the hell kind of ending was that? Dark Order fucking sucks when they're on the inside the ring. But vignettes, people love them.
Oh yeah.
It's weird how it goes that way.
Well, when you go with Twitter vignettes, those are mostly their fan base who are all tweeting about the Dark Order and they love it and all that. That's the AEW fan base. But a lot of times in these crowds, you're not getting your fans that you normally would online. Who, yes, they're fans. A lot of these people going there might not just be AEW fans, but a lot of them could be some casuals coming in there. Say, hey, let's go to this show or whatever. Hey, this show's here. Let's go here. But yeah, because like tonight, the crowd wasn't really that good tonight.
The crowd was absolutely silent during the women's tag match. They couldn't give two shits about that match. They were so different in indies. They were never a dark gimmick, I think, says Bobarewski. Any sort of ideas on who could be the leader of the Dark Order?
Well, I mean, there's options out there, I guess.
What if the leader of the Dark Order is Luke Harper?
I don't know if that'd go over so well.
Really?
Because he doesn't come off as a dark character.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
And I heard everyone say they don't want to see Luke Harper put in any group; they want him to be by himself. So, I don't know. Maybe I've seen other people like Marty, which isn't going to happen now, obviously. But I mean, there's been all this other stuff that people want to see happen. Like, what if I can't remember who else it was, but yeah.
Shroom Goon says Brian Cage. Bill says Tony could be a Tony Khan. Imagine
why not?
If it was Tony Khan. There's hypothetical here. If it was Tony Khan, what would be the backlash, you think? Do you think people would love it or people would hate it?
It was me, Kenny. It was me all along. What? Are you want to get some more backlash? What if the person behind the Dark Order is Cody Rhodes?
I don't think that would get backlash. People might be like, hey, that's kind of creative how they pulled that off. But
the Nightmare Collective and they're all part of the Dark Order.
Imagine if it ended up being Tony Khan. I want to see that just to see what the reaction would be. Vince Russo says Shroom Goon. Sinister said I would love Matt Hardy. That's not a bad choice there. Someone who was once broken then awoken. Look at Bobarewski. I see what you did there, brother. Dark Order is get off my TV worthy though, says Beef Stew. It seems WWE like to me, says Beef Stew. What do you think about that?
I've never seen WWE do anything this dark, so I don't think it's anything WWE. Unless you want to go back Ministry of Darkness type thing, then maybe. But then they should have never exposed who the guy under the mask is.
They're going to eventually expose him. They're going to eventually show
we already know who it is. It's the guy who's doing all the talking.
I don't think the Dark Voice is the same. I don't think it's the same guy.
The guy
I don't think it's Uno doing the talking. No, I think it's someone else.
You don't think that's Uno?
No, I think it's someone else.
Out the mask? I thought everyone said that was Uno.
No, I think it's someone else because it's a voice changer. It's someone else. It's definitely someone else. It's Dad Con. You'll just see a mustache shadow, says Bob Ruski. It's like Vince showed himself as the one behind the ministry, says Steven. It's Jack Hager, says Beef. There is a higher power. Yeah, it's a higher power than Uno. So I'm wondering who it is. That's one of the more intriguing storylines on AEW right now is who is actually behind the Dark Order. Because I've been saying this for the longest time. They don't click very much on television. But if you add someone who is a known name face, who has some recognition, who has possibly a fan base already built, maybe that could help them out quite a bit. Like a Matt Hardy, or a Brian Cage, or a Luke Harper, or someone, Ric Flair. It's someone, who can, you can, when you hear the name, you're like, oh shit, that type of thing. It has to be someone who's already a star on AEW, in my opinion, to help out that group, because they need help. They need help. They're the only group I've ever seen get hate when they're on TV inside a ring, but when their vignettes are on, they love them. It's just so weird how it plays out that way.
See, I was under the impression that the Uno character was the guy we see in the videos.
No, it's not the same.
That's not the same. I was told that was the guy.
Ooh, huh? Shroom Goon saying if it was Killer Cross, instant push. Hey, if it's Killer Cross, which we don't actually know if Killer Cross is going to WWE or what. If Killer Cross ends up being that would be an excellent choice, in my opinion. But yeah, let's end up talking about the main event, which was Pac taking on Darby Allin. The winner would go on to face Jon Moxley. Well, actually go on to face just Chris Jericho. At the moment, that's the way it was going. To go on to take on Chris Jericho next week on Dynamite. Darby ends up losing against Pac, but put on a great fight. Man, this match was pretty good for the main event. It was a really, really good match. I mean, I was hoping Pac won. I wouldn't have been shocked if Darby won. It would have been an upset, but it would have made sense seeing that Jericho is a face and Jericho's a heel and Darby's a face. But what did you think of this match? I actually really enjoyed the match. I thought both men looked really good in the match. You saw some cool high spots. And that coffin drop that Darby does, I gotta give some people may not like the move, but you gotta have so much trust in your opponent that he will be there and take the brunt of that spot. Because my goodness, dude, that is a scary move to do, to know that you have to trust your opponent to be there and to catch you when you do it. But what was your thoughts of the match and Neville winning? I
thought the match was Pac. But, yeah.
What did I say?
Neville.
I'm sorry. God damn it. My apologies.
But I thought the match was good. I just didn't feel like a main event to me. Mm-hmm. It just didn't. It was a good match. I thought it would have been a good opening match. But it was still a really good match, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I just feel bad for Pac, and I feel bad for Darby because they never use him. This is all they ever do with Darby Allin. I'll start with him first. Is put him in these really good matches. He did put up a really good fight, but he loses again. He just loses all these big matches. Loses to Cody Rhodes. Loses to Jericho. I get that. He's the world champion. Then loses to Pac. And now Pac is just an afterthought in this whole thing. He won the match, yes. But he's just going to lose to Moxley next week because they're setting up Moxley versus Jericho at their big pay-per-view. So it's like Pac is put on the back burner again from being a top star to just losing to Moxley because it's going to be Moxley and Jericho. I feel like Moxley should get a world title shot.
Darby won the match on Darby. Correct, but it was
against Cutler.
Yeah, against Cutler. But I mean, like I said,
these big matchups. Yeah.
So it's yeah. When it's the big timers though, he ends up falling short. But hey, you know what? Darby is a guy that could be a feel good story when they actually start building him up. Darby is already loved by the crowd. He has a huge following over on AEW. If Darby does end up getting a push, which I'm sure he will eventually, start getting a push, maybe start picking up some wins that you never thought he was going to win in the first place, I think it's going to eventually happen to where Darby gets a title shot and maybe wins, because he will get a following behind him. I honestly feel that way. He's not a very unlikable person. Everybody can, kind of relate to him some way, somehow, if it's with his backstory or if it's him skateboarding or, music he likes or whatever have you. I really feel like he can really gain that momentum when he finally does upset a guy like maybe a Pac or a Jericho or someone that's, a higher hierarchy than him,
I don't know if he ever will, though, because it's like they take these guys, even Pac is the same way, too. They never let them go too far. They get these wins and they get the win taken right back from them.
Yeah.
Darby gets great stuff going for a while. He had a great match with Jericho. He lost because of Jake Hager interfered. And then they did nothing with Darby like 4 weeks later. He wasn't on TV for 4 weeks. And he has a good showing against Cody and then not on TV for a couple.
And we 100% agree with everybody in the chat room that is saying that the AEW needs a mid-card title. We've been preaching that on the show for months already. Excuse me, that they need a mid-card title, because if there was a mid-card title, you would be able to use some of these guys that you don't really use very much on AEW Dynamite in the first place. And then second, matches like Moxley and Pac, or this match, the two matches that we had to go on to face Jericho, won't be so obvious who the winner's going to be. Because we all know that Moxley and Pac are the big guns of the group. They're going to end up going after that number one contendership for that world championship. But if there's a mid-card title, they could have a Darby pull off an upset on Pac, or vice versa with Guevara taking on and beating Moxley, because there's something else to fall back on. Right now, everybody's fighting for the top spot. Everybody wants that world championship. And that's why we can't get everybody on television, because there's not enough feuds and storylines to go around Dynamite, because it's only specific ones that they can really concentrate on.
Yeah. Oh, really quick, going back to the Dark Order really quick. Did you hear about the other speculation of their leader?
No, who's that?
Jim Cornette was another speculation. Because there was a tennis racket in one of the videos and someone threw glasses.
If Jim Cornette ends up being the leader of the Dark Order, I will gift 30 subs in this chat room. I will gift 30 subs, okay? Because that ain't going to fucking happen.
I didn't see this where there was a tennis racket somewhere on the floor in one of these vignettes, but someone was saying that some of these AEW fans are pointing out, like, there's could it be Jim Cornette? How funny would that be if all this crap and it turned out to be him?
Clip it, save it, do whatever you like. If they get it, I'll give 30 subs, because that shit ain't gonna fucking happen. I think the mid-card title is coming soon. Now that TNT will have at least another hour worth of AEW to air each week, says Sinister.
Yeah, you need something.
You really do need something.
I mean, a TV title, a US title, a cruiserweight title, something. Pick one of them.
Firewall says it's Santino, the leader. He's gonna do the Cobra Strike to everybody.
Yeah. That makes sense. That move looked like about as much shit as that one punch did.
Now, before we end the recap for tonight, there was also huge news that came out from AEW, which was a new contract announced with them and Turner Broadcast, everybody. They have a new multi-year contract that will extend them to 2023. I know it's a little bit, you can't really read the words, but I'll zoom it in for you guys. I'll kind of read a little bit of it. It says, when Tony Khan first shared with me his idea of starting a new wrestling league, I was impressed by his audacity to go up against a contender that has been the only game in town for 20 years, and ultimately believed that together we could bring his vision for a new, authentic, gritty, produced to bear, says Kevin Riley, Chief Content Officer, HBO Max President, TNT, TBS, and True TV. The fans have spoken, and after only 3 months, we have seen AEW shake up the wrestling world, and this will only continue as we build upon this momentum. AEW Dynamite exploded onto the wrestling scene when it premiered on TNT as the night's number one wrestling show. it has continued to deliver high-performance episodes each week, with the series averaging 1.2 million total viewers and 654K 18 to 49 per episode in live plus 7-day viewing. In only 3 months, AEW Dynamite has reached nearly 32 million people across all platforms. The show also delivers the youngest wrestling audience on television. When we launched AEW a year ago, we wanted to start a revolution, and that would disrupt the wrestling business. But everyone said that it would take a strong weekly television partner to make AEW real in the eyes of everyone, above all the fans. Let's kind of scroll down here, which it gets a little bit interesting. Here we are, only 3 months into Wrestling Wednesday Night Dynamite, and now we've been extended through 2023. We're now making the ultimate statement that the team of AEW and TNT is here to stay and bring fans more of the great wrestling that the fans demand and deserve. Weekly action-packed matches continue to air live on Wednesdays as part of TNT's lineup of big, lean forward television that gives viewers the best seat in the house for electrifying stories, dynamic characters, and thrilling events. A global franchise, AEW has already secured broadcast deals in the UK, Canada, France, and Germany, and is available in over 100 in other countries through the AEWplus.com subscription service. Both parties are continuously exploring ways to further expand this relationship. Whew. That was a lot to read. Your thoughts, Dave, on them getting extended to 2023 and also adding a new show to television?
Hey,
that's right, Sinister. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder there.
I was just going to say, good for them. I'm glad it happened so fast for them. I know HBO Max has a big thing coming out pretty soon, so that's going to be interesting. See if that plays any part in this, too. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I hope it doesn't run them ragged having another show to do. But someone said at one point it was going to be a 2-hour show, but now we're hearing it's going to be just a 1-hour show recorded either before Dynamite or after. I assume AEW Dark is recorded after because it's called Dark. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. If it is Dark and they just do like what the WWE does with like main event and just throw it on like a show like that, like later on. So it could be something similar, but we'll see.
We'll get more details on all the situation there and all the new stuff coming with AEW on our Saturday night show. I just thought I would bring that up. Now, Sinister, thank you for the reminder. We did get Tony Schiavone come down to the ring to interview Pac. Talks to Pac in the ring, goes ask the question, and Pac just tells him he should congratulate the number one contender. Schiavone says he still has to face Moxley. Pac says, we saw what happened, and that means it'll be a forfeit. He then tells Jericho, I'm coming for you, Chris. And that's when we go to backstage. Tony Schiavone's like, hold up. I'm getting word from the back. We got breaking stuff going on in the backstage area. And they show Jon Moxley with the bandage over his eye, blood coming down his face. The rag that he's been holding has blood all over it. And they show him ended up closing the doors to an ambulance. Well, obviously, Moxley wasn't having it. He comes up there and tries to kick the ambulance doors open, which didn't work. He ends up just opening him by himself and walks down to the ring and grabs the microphone and says, it ain't going down like that, brother. I don't care if I'm blind or have only one eye. I will be there next week. So it took the ambulance about an hour to get to the arena and to finally get Moxley into the ambulance on the way to the hospital. What did you think of that segment, Dave? Did you think it was corny, not needed? What did you think?
They're just trying to really make Moxley be like this superstar, it seems like. This big star, and like almost similarities to how they used to book Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day, how he'd be beat up and bloody, but I'm still going to be there wrestling. Another thing I forgot to mention really quick, during this show, he was during the main event, I really noticed it. I didn't even know Tony Schiavone was there.
I've said that many times already. On commentary, Tony is
like tonight,
he's a mute.
And because it was like nothing. I was like, oh, he is still there because it was JR and Excalibur just doing all the talking. It's like, why is Tony... What if he feels like that? Like, why am I even here? I don't do no talking.
I've said this many times. Put Schiavone as the guy who's the Gene Okerlund of Dynamite. Just interviews everybody. And bring back Taz. and have Taz, Excalibur, and Jim Ross be the guys who was on commentary, because those guys clicked very well together.
Did we already talk about
I think
how
they should take
shitty
turns.
Brandi
I think they should let
Rhodes
one
is?
week let
Fucking
Tony
hell.
be the lead commentator and stuff like that, and let JR be the guy on the side for a week or something like that. Just do it differently. Or with this new show coming, let one of them only be on this show, and not both of them.
They just don't work together as a tandem, because they're both the same commentator. Yeah, excuse me. We talked about it earlier in the show how shit she was. I'm sure you guys will get on it on Friday night as well. But yeah, Shivani and Jim Ross are the same type of commentators. They're lead analysts. They're guys that conduct the commentator and lead on to other people. For the most part, on a 2-hour show of Dynamite, Shivani will probably get in a few words each match, and that's it. He doesn't talk very much. It's Jim Ross mainly and Excalibur. I don't understand why they just don't make Shivani be the guy that interviews people. He does it already anyways. Have him be the guy that does that. Have him commentate AEW Dark just so he can be doing something. And then have Taz come in and commentate with Jim Ross and Excalibur, because I said this when they had that episode. That was the best commentating that they've had since joining. That's,
Drop bits and support the show, kids.
Thank you, Speeds. I appreciate the kind words there. Always appreciate that. And thank you. Don't forget to follow Speeds in the Benchmark live on Friday, going over SmackDown. We support them just as much as they support us. Good friends of the show and great overall people. So give them a follow as well. Give me Taz, JR, and Excalibur for the main commentary. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. JR wasn't bad tonight. JR wasn't that bad tonight. Usually he's horrible. Mispronouncing names, mispronouncing moves. Usually he's pretty bad inside the ring commentating. But tonight he didn't really bother me too much. Other than I have noticed that Shivani is not very much of a talkative guy when he's on commentary with Jim Ross at all. Let JR do an hour and then Tony does an hour. Hey, they could go that route as well. I don't mind
but it's
that.
like Tony can't get a word in because JR and Excalibur won't stop talking to let him breathe and say something.
Yep. And thank you for the bit there, Chris Mack. Appreciate that as always, sir. Appreciate that. But yeah, overall thoughts on AEW Dynamite tonight, Dave?
I thought it was an okay for what they were building it as, I didn't really think it lived up to that, because it felt like you were building up as a pay-per-view type of show, and it didn't really live up to that hype to me, because that's what it felt like to me. It's like, this is a big show, you have to watch it, and then it didn't feel like it delivered on that part.
Yeah, Excalibur never shuts up, says Spees. Yeah, they don't let anybody else get a goddamn word in, it seems like. And I've said this on the show before. It really feels like Shivani is sometimes not there. He's just probably just sitting there twiddling his thumbs, maybe even looking on his phone. Oh, it's my turn to talk? Look at that clothesline by Dustin Rhodes.
The shots, the shots they were showing, JR and Excalibur have papers in their hands. Tony's just standing there with nothing. He's just standing there because he doesn't do nothing. I know maybe for me as the old WCW fan, I would much rather hear Tony Schiavone's voice than JR's.
Right.
Because it makes that, it brings you that nostalgia feeling of Tony Schiavone, calling a show on Nitro again or on TNT again. And it would just, I would just like to see Tony get a chance to lead the show. Because he's done it on these MLW shows. He's done a good job.
Yeah, I don't understand their thinking on that, but we're gonna have to deal with it. Tonight's episode was all right, nothing too special. We'll have a number one contenders match next week on the cruise. They are going to be wrestling live on the cruise, Chris. I did see your question about that. Yes, they will be live on the cruise next week. We have SCU taking on Omega and Hangman, and I think that's the only really matches that they have. Pac, Moxley, and then Hangman and Omega taking on SCU. Those are the only two matches that have been announced so far.
Apparently Rio won't be on next week because she's back in Japan.
What a fucking waste that was with her.
Because I seen her post on Twitter last week. She's like, "I'm heading back to Japan," and Britt Baker quoted it like, "Of course you are," or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably that has to be a first. I know they ran. Didn't they run a pay-per-view on their cruise, I think, a couple of years ago, when they
I
had
think it
the
was last
cruise?
year because you ordered one of the matches they did or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, that's how you
When
got
they-
these. You were able to see the Jericho. I'm sorry, the Young Bucks take
I
on,
never
LAX.
fucking watched it.
So
I just never.
it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it. It's gonna be a fun episode next week as well. Not sure if we'll be live next Wednesday night. If Hill by Nature asks us to be on again, then yeah, we'll pop on Wednesday. If not, we'll be live again on our Thursday night show. We'll let you guys know via the Twitters, like we have been letting you guys know recently. We'll be back again on Saturday, going over all the wrestling rumors and innuendos and everything else going on through this week. We'll go over SmackDown, of course. We'll also go over NXT, which was a huge show tonight. Thank you for not spoiling it for everyone tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you guys very, very much. And Jericho and the Inner Circle taking on Jurassic Express. That's also correct.
That's right.
Steven. That's
that
right.
should be a good match.
I forgot about that. I forgot he mentioned
See,
about how
now,
he was going to
next
destroy
week-
Jungle Boy.
I think we should do a show next week. Honestly, I don't whether we get hosted or not because to me that actually sounds like a good show. All your top stars are going to be on the show. I mean, Jericho's going to be on it.
Bizarre
Moxley
One. All right, Bizarre One has called it. We will be live next
I know
Wednesday
that.
night. Bizarre One that will be live next Wednesday night. We'll be live next Wednesday night. AEW Dynamite recap show right here on Twitch right after the show. So if you guys want to come here and chit chat wrestling like you guys did tonight, which we really do appreciate that, and thank you for all the new followers as well. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the read sub from Jimbo. Thank you guys so very much for that. We will be back next Wednesday. Look at Dave calling the shots here. We'll be back on Saturday, everybody. He bashes on AEW, but he loves it so much, says Sinister.
How did I bash it? I don't like every single thing on the show. That's bashing it.
First time he suggested we go on. Yeah? Hey, look at that shit. Yeah.
It's a big show next week. Why wouldn't we go on?
Dave, you know you are considered the AEW hater. You just got to embrace it, brother. You just got to embrace it.
I'm only a hater because I criticize him. I don't suck AEW's dick because like everyone else does. So I'm a hater because I criticize some of the stuff.
Wow. Jeez. Did you have to get vulgar there, Dave? We are kind of a PG show here, Dave.
No, we're not.
Sheesh. Wow.
Cue Katie Forbes. Monkeys in the truck. Play the Katie Forbes video.
Sinister said, he'll be dick riding in no time. We'll see. I haven't seen it yet. Dave is pretty critical of AEW. I'll be. Everybody in the chat knows that for sure. But we'll see. We'll see what happens next Wednesday night on the old cruise ship. That should be a fun episode. So, all right, guys, we'll be live next Wednesday night, going over AEW Dynamite. And thank you again for Hill by Nature for having us on their YouTube channel once again. You said Jurassic Express, and he perked right up. Hey, he loves who? How can he not love Luchasaurus, Sinister? And plus, Dave's a huge Marco Stunt fan.
Oh fuck, Marco Stunt. I like Jack Perry. Or no, I'm sorry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. According to JR, it's Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
No, we know deep down inside you love Marco Stunt. Come on.
No one likes Marco Stunt.
So, yeah, we'll be live again with you guys on Saturday. So, Saturday's rundown, rumors, innuendo, SmackDown, NXT, whatever else you guys want us to talk about, post links in the chat or post links over on our via Twitter. And let us know what you guys would want us to talk about as well. And next weekend, Dave, is a huge show for us. Because not only will we go over wrestling news and rumors, it's the Collide show over on WWE/NXT. So we'll be doing that as well. Next weekend, Dave, is the Royal Rumble. So, I believe so. Yeah, next weekend
That's
is
the 29th, I thought.
No, 29th is a fucking Wednesday, Dave.
Whatever the day is.
It's on the 26th. So, yeah, we're just right outside the Royal Rumble. So next weekend will be a very, very huge show for us because, you know why, Dave?
Why? Because we want to see you then?
No, god damn it. We'll be live Saturday and Sunday. Saturday night will be Worlds Collide recap and going over everything else going on in the wrestling news and rumors. And then Sunday night, Sunday, will be our Royal Rumble recap show. So I hope you guys will pop over here and hang out with us and chit-chat with us. Ian Dunn says Dave fears Marco stunt. Oh, God, here we go again. Here we go again. I'm also going to come up with a little bit of a contest for the Royal Rumble. If you guys are interested, you'll have to be here on Saturday. I'm going to have everybody in a number generator, and whatever number you get will be your particular wrestler in the Royal Rumble card. So hopefully everybody was going to aim for number 1, which will be Brock Lesnar, or number 27 or 30, which, for God's sakes, we have no idea. But I figured we can do that, and the winner will get like a $20 gift card or any around those lines. So if you guys are interested in that, I think it would just be like a fun little competition. Guys, get you a little bit more excited for the Royal Rumble, knowing that if your particular wrestler wins, you can win a prize. So keep that in mind as well. February 17th is Elimination Chamber. Damn, that close right after Royal Rumble? Jesus. That's only a few weeks out from the Royal Rumble.
And then February 20th, I believe, is Saudi Arabia again.
What was your rating for tonight? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I don't want to say it was a... Can I give it like this? Like a in-between type of thing? Because I thought it had its hit or misses. The women's match was god-awful. The 6-man tag match was okay. I thought the main event was good. I thought the tag match was good. Moxley and Guevara was good. I would say if you would have 1 through 5, I would give it a 3. What about you, Dave?
I thought it was a good show. I mean, other than some of the matches I didn't care for and some of the wrestlers I don't care for. But yeah, I thought it was a good show because, like I said, I didn't know the time was already, it's already almost over. Time flew by. I enjoyed it. I give it a thumbs up. I'll give it why not? I mean, a 5. I mean,
hey, what's up, Jeff? How you doing? No, we haven't. Oh, forgot about that. Thank you. So, we did lose a legend today, Dave.
Yes, that's right.
We did lose Rocky Johnson. If you do not know who Rocky Johnson is, he is the father of The Rock. I can't say he was a great wrestler on this match between this guy right here was a great match because I didn't watch him. This is a little bit before my time. But we've heard nothing but great stories about this man and how great of a guy he was, and inside and outside of the ring. Is there anything that you would like to say about Rocky Johnson?
I don't know much about him, honestly. I know he used to be tag team champions with Tony Atlas, who a lot of us remember from when he did Legends House. But yeah, I mean, other than that one time he interfered in the match when it was Rikishi as the Sultan taking on Rocky Maivia, and his dad jumped the railing and helped him out. And they did that. I remember that. But yeah, and I think, Vampiro Verpal, he was another legend who died recently too. So
and La Parka as well from AAA passed away just past weekend as well. So quick little 5-second moment of silence for Mr. Rocky Johnson, who passed away today at the age of 75 years old. Jeffrey Cross says he was a great wrestler, should have been heavyweight champion. Marion Watson says maybe a weird complaint, but they need to dim the lights. My eyes hurt when watching Dynamite, and it really affects me on the pay-per-views and makes me want to fall asleep. Interesting.
Well, maybe we can get someone to rock you to sleep like they do Orange Cassidy.
Wow. God damn. Jeez. You should rate the shows without acknowledging women matches going forward, since the division cannot be saved. Damn. That's harsh. God damn.
But these last couple weeks, I've enjoyed doing these. Even though I do like NXT, I think it was the better show in my opinion last week. But I still enjoy doing these AEW only watching shows. Even though it is fun to flip back and forth, which I haven't done. I've just watched strictly AEW, and I've enjoyed it because it's something different. It's outside of that WWE bubble. It's just AEW, and that's it.
Right. I didn't mean it for it to be a fast moment. No disrespect to Rocky Johnson. As a fellow guy who just lost his father a couple of months, I can only imagine the pain and suffering The Rock is going through right now. But at least Rock and Rocky had a great relationship together. They got to do some memorable moments in wrestling together. He saw his son become this famous wrestler and movie star. And he also lived a great life. I'm assuming lived a good life, being at the age of 75 years old and passing away. And we have nothing but condolences and well wishes to The Rock. I know he'll probably never see this. But we do wish him the best and hope he'll heal in time. And losing a father isn't easy. We all know that. And we know that how great and how awesome Rocky Johnson was. And I'm sure we'll hear more stories come out on Saturday night. But,
I'm sure Monday they'll do a tribute to The Rock's dad.
They did a tribute tonight on NXT for him.
Oh, did they?
They did like a 10-bell salute for him tonight as well. So
I assume they'll do something on Raw too, because he was a big part.
I'm surprised AEW didn't do that tonight. I know they did a little bit of a video package, or they did.
They showed a picture. They said we want to say our condolences,
which
and
I'm
all
surprised
that.
they didn't do a 10-bell salute for him. I'm honestly, I know he has nothing to do with them.
Yeah,
but I'm honestly
that's
surprised.
fine.
He's just a wrestling icon. I'm surprised they didn't. They didn't. Oh, it wasn't even aired. Truth. Oh, it wasn't aired. Really?
Well,
the 10-bell salute wasn't aired on television on NXT. Really?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow. That's
Maybe
weird.
they did before the show. I bet you Raw does, because maybe they said Raw's going to do it, and they don't want to have everyone, just SmackDown. I bet you SmackDown does it Friday night. Maybe that's what happens.
I gotta ask, what's Dave's Twitter? Because there's an imposter Dave on Twitter pretending to be the Get the Tables Dave. What?
Are you serious?
What? Someone is.
I have an imposter?
Oh my god! What is going on these days?
No way.
This got your tweet, Dave. Ted. Yes, we are still live, as you can see. The biggest action star surpassing Arnold Schwarzenegger. They did a 10-bell salute on AEW Dark for the Memphis wrestlers. I'm honestly surprised they didn't do anything like that for Rocky tonight. Dave's got a stalker, says Truth and Loyalty. But yeah,
tell me his name, because I want to find out who it is.
He was NWA Georgia champion and NWA Southern Heavyweight Memphis champion. He was really good. It's just shocking to see all these icon wrestlers. It seems like when one icon wrestler passes away, and everybody has their own opinion on La Parka. But it seems like when one wrestler passes away, you get another one that same week. It's just crazy how the world works that way. I do, like I said, hope Rock is doing okay and is gets better from this, because it's not easy losing a father. If you have lost one in experience, that's it's not fun. They may not have done something to honor Rocky, and we won't see it until AEW Dark, says Sinister. Drunk Paige looks like a winner. Yes. Drunk Paige, I can get behind. I like that. He's very entertaining. I'll give him that. I want to see Drunk Paige and Omega with the tag belts. I want to see Paige come down to the ring drunk. And that's the reason why they lose the match, and see where it goes from there.
I was getting confused when you say Drunk Paige. I went to Paige.
Oh, you thought Paige. Oh, jeez. Goddamn, Dave.
I don't want to see her drunk with no tag belts. I really don't.
Drunk cowboy shit. Absolutely. Again, thank you so much for everybody for joining us tonight. It was an awesome show. We'll be back next weekend. So y'all want another Scott Hall? No, not to that extent. Their Truth or Loyalty.
It seems like it. It seems that's what they're going with.
Not to that extent. But, him having a couple of, little drinks or two, kind of chilling out. I don't mind that, Hangman. He seems like he's a violent drunk, though. We see where Dave's head is at, says Jeffrey Cross. We know what happens when that Paige is drunk. Wow.
Yeah, keep her away from the titles.
Wow. God, keep her away from two men, right? Is exactly what else they say? What Marion Watson? It's not me who's saying it. It's the chat room. Y'all are being savages once again tonight. as well. Again, Impact Wrestling, everybody, if you haven't known,
it's canceled.
Impact Wrestling has been banned on Twitch. God damn it, Twitch, because of the raunchy video or segment they had with RVD and Katie Forbes.
Did you see Moose's tweet?
Yeah, something about there was a porno on Impact.
Yeah, you just watched porn on Impact.
I cannot believe Impact thought that segment wouldn't get them banned.
You know what I think
Holy
got them banned?
shit.
Honestly? Them insinuating that 2 girls were giving him head under the blanket. I think that might have got them banned because that's
I think that whole segment got them banned. Her wearing the provocative bikini, barely wearing anything. The threesome, like they're teasing that, like.
Let me see that Rob Van Dam.
Jesus Christ, that was just wow. Like when I saw that they got deleted or banned, their entire channel is banned. Yes, their entire channel is banned. Look it up. Search Impact Wrestling on Twitch. It's not there anymore. It's gone. As you can see, they're not showing any replays either. They're gone. They'll probably be back, obviously.
I hope they just go to YouTube because honestly, they have more subscribers there anyway. It'll kill us for our weekly shows, but because half of us here probably don't have access TV and we won't be able to watch it.
Look, half of us here are pretty much done with Impact for the most part. Like
I don't know. I think that Katie Forbes thing might got people interested.
on last night's show, Dave, there was nothing but hatred towards Impact Wrestling. Some positives, mostly negatives.
I think what really got everyone, and this could be good or bad for them, is the RVD segment because we were all sitting here like, holy shit, what did they just show us on TV or on Twitch?
I was speechless.
I know.
I didn't know what to fucking say. That was in this. I've been saying this. They're going to show Katie Ford's vagina eventually, but I didn't think they'd get banned before it happened. Holy shit.
Did they show, I don't know if anyone who has Access TV on here, did they show that entire thing on Access TV?
They had to have.
I mean, and I guess it doesn't matter. Don't know if they blurred that whole segment or just showed it.
No, it doesn't matter if it's on cable television. But Twitch has some pretty strict guidelines that you have to follow. Even though there's half-naked chicks on here on Twitch in the first place doing Dance Dance Revolution and shit like that. Like, I can't believe that shit, how Twitch will allow that. But, you know, have one raunchy segment, which I'm not saying was good or bad, but then they get banned. So it's just like...
No. That audio file of the... Whoever that... I'm not saying that was Tessa Blanchard, but that stuff was raunchy.
Oh, you're talking about her getting videotaped. We all know that.
I know if it was videotaped or audio, but yeah.
I fell asleep right when the Tessa interview started and didn't wake up to the next morning. Well, you didn't miss much. Didn't miss much, Marion Watson. Have a good night, Sinister. Thank you again. We're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Back again on Saturday. Back again next week on Wednesday. And they are dressed crazy, eating, and getting thousands of views. It's insane. Cornette's reaction is gold, I'm telling y'all.
Oh, my God. You got to listen to it.
Send me the link, Marion, and we'll play it on Saturday. Send me the link, and I'll play it on Saturday.
Jim Cornette?
Yeah, the Jim Cornette spot. Just send me the link.
That's hilarious.
And we'll play it on Saturday. All right, guys.
You got to listen to the whole thing because it was fucking like 10 minutes long. They're just going like that.
That's too long. We'll be back again on Saturday. Back with you guys on... excuse me. Mixing it up here. Back again on Saturday, 10:20 p.m. Eastern, and then back with you guys on next Wednesday, going over the AEW Dynamite episode, which seems to be a pretty stacked one as well. Lana and Lashley RVD with Porn Girls. Which one is better? Jeez.
Man, it's crazy. They're almost going on 24 hours and they only have 72K who even watched that video on YouTube.
I guess the RVD one is more entertaining, but just because of RVD, I don't find Katie Forbes attractive at all.
Yeah, I would rather watch. I mean, look, it's weird and crazy what they do, but I would rather see RVD and his girls than Bobby Lashley and Lana.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's just RVD. He's entertaining. I wonder how many parents threaten to whip their kid's ass if they catch them watching Impact again. Here's my thing, and we're gonna end it.
Yeah, what if you're
I'm
watching
gonna
it?
end it here because funny story. Here's a funny story. I was hanging out. Went over to my mom's today, and she stopped by the show last night, Dave, to watch the watch party, and she saw that particular segment, and she wasn't a fan of it. And she said like she was surprised that it was able to be shown on Twitch, and kind of mentioned the same stuff that we were saying. And I was telling her, I said, imagine if WWE did this, or even AEW did this type of a segment, which had these women in it doing what they were doing. Just name a wrestler that they were doing it with. Not recently. When's the last time we've seen this, Dave?
Okay, recently. No, not recently.
Imagine the backlash they would be getting on Twitter. The women that would be threatening to stop watching WWE or AEW. But it's Impact.
And no women watch
no
that.
one gives a shit. It's crazy.
They're trying to get any kind of viewers they can. We talked about this last night, too. They're trying to scratch and claw any type of viewers they get. Obviously, they just want the male viewers who are going to watch this and think this stuff is good or entertaining. See two girls making out in their thongs, and people are going to think, okay, cool. Maybe people will watch it. That's all they're doing. Yeah, this would never fly anywhere else. If they didn't own the freaking network they were on, they would probably get kicked off there, too. For doing some stuff like that, but yeah.
No, it's just weird how.
Unless you put under mature audiences, that's what you got to put this stuff under from now on.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah,
eventually, you're gonna have to. You're going to have to with Impact because they're just too edgy, to the extreme. Now they're saying they're letting the F word fly and all this stuff. They definitely need to put up a TVMA.
And Access TV isn't really a normal channel either.
Okay.
So you can do a lot more. It was like a satellite channel where they had no commercials at one point.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. Usually I do a shout out to everyone in the chat room, but I think we have how many viewers here right now? Over 40 right now. Awesome. Thank you again for joining us. But I'll just say thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. We do appreciate all the awesome interaction. We thank you everyone who followed us tonight. We always appreciate that. Thank you for the love and support you give us here on Twitch and on Twitter. Much appreciated. We hit over 300 followers this past weekend. We're now up to over 310. Thank you guys so very much. The hard work is paying off, and we're really glad you guys enjoy our content. We're just very, very humbled to know that you guys enjoy our show that much. Appreciate you guys. Love you all. Have a great rest of your week. Impact said we don't give a shit no more. Good for them. Funny shit, man. I hope we see all of you guys on Saturday. Love you all. Have a great rest of your weekend. It's almost Friday, end of the week for a lot of you guys. And we just appreciate you ending your Wednesday night with us. Peace. Have a great night. And we will see all of you guys on Saturday. Peace.